Deontay Wilder refuses to walk away from boxing. The former WBC heavyweight champion, now 39 years old, believes the division still needs his explosive power. After suffering brutal knockout losses to Tyson Fury, Joseph Parker and Zhilei Zhang, many thought Wilder's time at the top was over. But the Alabama native made his return in June with a 7th-round stoppage of Tyrell Herndon. While he got the knockout, Wilder looked slower and less sharp than in his prime. Fans noticed his timing wasn't what it used to be, even against lesser competition. Wilder has laid out a clear plan for his comeback. First, he wants an overseas fight to rebuild confidence. Then, his ultimate goal is a massive showdown with Anthony Joshua in 2025. The Bronze Bomber insists he still has what it takes to compete with the best. America's heavyweight scene desperately needs stars, and Wilder remains one of the few recognizable names. With young prospect Jared Anderson inactive and other contenders like Jarrell Miller inconsistent, Wilder sees an opportunity for one last run at the top. Carl Froch believes rising star Moses Itauma will end Dillian Whyte's career when they meet next week. The former super middleweight champion didn't hold back in his assessment of the heavyweight showdown. Itauma, just 20 years old, brings an undefeated 12-0 record with 10 knockouts into the fight. The young prospect has been crushing opponents early, stopping his last 3 fights in the first 2 rounds. His power and speed make him a dangerous threat. Whyte, the veteran contender, hasn't fought much recently due to a drug test controversy. While he's shown good form in training, Froch thinks the 36-year-old is past his prime. The Cobra predicts Itauma will outclass and likely knock out Whyte. This fight could launch Itauma into title contention or give Whyte one last chance at redemption. With both men having everything to prove, expect fireworks in Riyadh. Piers Morgan just made a shocking U-turn after Jake Paul's lawyers got involved. The TV host issued a rare public apology to the YouTube boxer, walking back his claims that Paul's fights were staged. Morgan originally called Paul's boxing career boring staged bullshit*T, but changed his tune after Paul hired top lawyer Alex Spiro, who reps Elon Musk and Jay-Z. In his apology, Morgan clarified he meant Paul fought past their prime opponents, not that matches were fixed. Paul's team isn't taking accusations lightly. His manager warned that false claims hurt deals with Netflix, DAZN, and sponsors. With a possible Anthony Joshua fight in talks, Paul's taking his career seriously. David Benavidez just revealed who he thinks wins the Canelo vs. Crawford super fight, and it's all about size. The former super middleweight champ believes Canelo's natural power at 168 pounds will be too much for Crawford, who's jumping up 3 weight classes. Benavidez said, "Canelo wins because of the weight. Crawford's coming up too far." Benavidez knows Canelo well. He chased the fight for years, but was avoided. Now at light heavyweight, he'll only face Canelo if the Mexican moves up. If Crawford wins, Benavidez isn't interested. Retired champion Nigel Benn believes one boxer could have defeated all 4 legends of the 1980s: Sugar Ray Leonard, Marvin Hagler, Roberto Duran, and Thomas Hearns. Benn claims undefeated Welsh star Joe Calzaghe had the perfect style to beat these iconic fighters. Calzaghe retired with a perfect 46-0 record, including 21 successful title defenses at super middleweight. His incredible hand speed and relentless work rate made him a nightmare for opponents. While many boxing experts consider the Four Kings untouchable in their prime, Benn argues Calzaghe's movement and punch volume would have been too much. The British legend points to Calzaghe's wins over Roy Jones Jr. and Bernard Hopkins as proof he could handle boxing's all-time greats. The boxing world is heating up online as 3 stars exchange fiery callouts. Shakur Stevenson, Teofimo Lopez, and Ryan Garcia are all pointing fingers. But who will actually fight? Teofimo Lopez claims Ryan Garcia's team turned down a fight offer, posting on X, "They said no to me." Stevenson immediately fired back at Lopez. "Stop talking to others. I'm right here." The tension is real, but will any of these matchups happen? Garcia just returned from suspension with a loss to Rolly Romero. Lopez won his last fight, while Stevenson stayed busy with 2 victories this year. All 3 need big fights to prove themselves. But are they serious about facing each other? 20-year-old heavyweight sensation Moses Itauma just shut down his doubters with one brilliant answer. When asked about his untested chin, the undefeated Brit fired back, "The best chins are the ones that don't get tested." The aim of boxing is to hit and not get hit. Itauma, 12-0, 10 KOs, faces his biggest test yet against Dillian Whyte next week. Critics claim he's unproven, yet expect him to blast out white, then say he's not ready for champs like Usyk. The young star isn't bothered. "I'm not worrying, just doing my job." With a WBO #1 ranking, Itauma could get a title shot sooner than expected if Usyk vacates. His sharp mind might be just as dangerous as his fists. Deontay Wilder's brother Marsellos is plotting an unlikely boxing return with a historic mission. The 36-year-old cruiserweight hasn't fought since 2022, but now vows to become the oldest world champion ever. In a raw social media post, Marsellos revealed his rocky journey. "I was guided by someone who secretly hated me." Despite a 5-3 record and knockout losses, he claims his time away transformed him. "Now I know what I'm doing." His bold plan: return alongside brother Deontay on the same card, using his age as motivation rather than an excuse. French boxer Sofiane Khati just served a 3-month suspension for failing a drug test, but not for steroids or PEDs. He tested positive for cannabis after his February fight in Manchester. Khati admitted using marijuana outside competition. UK anti-doping reduced his ban when experts confirmed it wasn't for performance enhancement. Still, the case cost him 3 months of his career. While cannabis is only banned during fights, Khati's case shows even recreational use can hurt athletes. He's now cleared to return, with a warning. George Foreman, the only man to win heavyweight titles 20 years apart, has settled the debate about boxing's best era. The legendary fighter, who dominated in both the 1970s and 1990s, says nothing compares to the golden age of the 1970s. Foreman first became champion by destroying Joe Frazier in 1973, then lost his title to Muhammad Ali in their epic Rumble in the Jungle. After a 10-year retirement, he shocked the world by knocking out Michael Moorer in 1994 at age 45 to become champion again. Despite experiencing different eras, Foreman insists the 1970s, with Ali, Frazier, Norton, and himself, was special. "That era will never be duplicated," he says, pointing to the skill, heart, and historic rivalries that define that period. Modern heavyweights hit hard, but Foreman believes the 70s legends had something today's fighters can't match: the perfect combination of power, technique, and unforgettable drama that made them icons.